Welcome to the Working Man Committee podcast. I'm your host, Brandon T, and this is the Brandon T Show. So, what up, peoples? How y'all doing? So, there's been a lot going on. So, let's start at the top. So, side note before we really get into it, Epstein, the House released some emails from the Epstein thing, and the emails were pointing in all different directions. And they mentioned Trump a few times. Media is stuck on the point where they talked about Trump, but it doesn't necessarily say like, "Oh, me and Trump were doing this." It was kind of like a little adversarial towards Trump. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Media gonna spin it where they want to spin it, and but my question about a lot of it is this: how nobody asked the question is the people that Epstein knew, how did he know them? Why did he need to know them? How did they know him? You know, that back and forth. What about it is? I mean, you can say whatever y'all want to say, the young girls, whatever. I don't think you can on his face, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong with that, but on his face, how do you in turn make the kind of money he was making to do the kind of things he was doing off them? Now, granted, you know what I'm saying, maybe he, you know what I'm saying, players ball, pimp of the year, pimp of the decade, pimp of the century. But, you know what I'm saying, I highly doubt it. So then that entails to me that, you know what I'm saying, there was some more stuff going on. And, but we keep going to, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to talk about that. Like, oh, who are these people and why do you know them? Even in some of the emails, he was like, oh, get messaged over here. I can help you do X, Y, Z, and so forth. And I'm like, let's focus on that. But, you know, the media don't want to do that because, you know what I'm saying, it kind of takes away the storyline because it's like, hey, we need to focus here. And so with everybody focusing in one direction, you know what I'm saying, that makes me think that there is definitely you know what I'm saying, definitely something that they want people not to focus on. And so, with that being said, just keep your eyes open. Okay, but anyway, so government back open, 41 days of shutdown, and then the 41 days of shutdown, you know, what I'm saying they said the ACA subsidy was the thing they were fighting over. You know, what I'm saying the House said they sent a clean CR. Clean, you know what clean CR means? You know, what I'm saying we whatever we've been doing, we're gonna keep doing it. That's what the House sent over to the Senate, and for 41 days, the Senate was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Senate Democrats, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't get help break the filibuster to in turn. So, like I said, people, you need 60 votes to break a filibuster, and then everything else after that, you need a simple majority of 51. And so they couldn't get past 60 and so forth. For 41 days, it went back and forth on the 60. And they were saying that HCA, not H, ACA, aka Obamacare, subsidies were going to be lost from a bunch of people. And so, I'm pretty sure, and as the way they said it is like, okay, all the subsidies are going away from the whole Obamacare, everything. Like nobody's going to have subsidies. And how can it be affordable if nobody has subsidies? And so that was my impression. Like, okay, they're gonna lose all the subsidies and so forth. And so looking at it on that face is like, okay, there's something going on. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what I'm saying? How did that part? Was that the subsidies something not added in? Is that not permanent? You know what I'm saying? Y'all did this whole Obamacare situation and made the subsidies flaky. And so as I started looking into it, you know what I'm saying, the subsidies the subsidies that were there before are not going anywhere. So this is the part that's actually in question. So here it goes. Yeah, see it's indivisible in no in the yes, individuals earning more than four times the federal poverty level. So So you got four times the poverty level, all get a subsidy. If you up from the poverty level all the way up to four times it, at that moment, get a subsidy is always baked in. But you know what I'm saying, they were giving subsidies, they called them enhanced subsidies to people made over four times the poverty level. So so what that means is that individuals making $62,600 or families making $128,600, you know what I'm saying, were able to get the same subsidies that people that were below the poverty level. And so those are called enhanced subsidies that they added back in. They added in during, you know what I'm saying, the COVID era, coming out of the Rona. And so they only made that last for a few years to give the enhanced subsidies. And so now that the enhanced subsidies, you know what I'm saying, are going away, now understand there's people making up more than four times the poverty level. You know what I'm saying? That now they will lose the subsidies and Obamacare will go up. So we talk. So they really shut the government down over people. Now, granted, you know what I'm saying? Granted, healthcare is expensive, super expensive. Don't know why it's expensive, but it's expensive. I'm saying, dude, is it the insurance companies that makes it expensive? Is it doctors, providers, over who makes it expensive? Nobody will admit to what they charging and why they charging it. So it's just expensive. It's just behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, like I said, let's get to the nuts and bolts of it, of why healthcare is so expensive. Why is that? And but like I said, they didn't never address that because, you know what I'm saying, why would they address it? Because a lot of, you know what I'm saying, the Congress people, you know, some of them are in the medical field. And then they got friends in the medical field, family in the medical field. So they don't want to cut none of that money. So, hey, so like I said, nothing gets fixed. So like, hey, let's just say we go get the government to, you know what I'm saying, help pay the people over here, regardless if what they're charging is what they should be charging, right? Anyway, so like I said, so what's going to happen now is that now if the subsidies, which like I said, the bill to open the government, the continuous resolution is supposed to be from nothing changed, just keep going and so forth. But you know what I'm saying, that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So there were some things added in because the Senate redid it, you know what I'm saying, to, you know what I'm saying, to get the filibuster done. But, and they just said, hey, we will give you a vote on the enhanced subsidies and so forth. You never know if it's going to pass or not because, you know what I'm saying, that might take a filibuster to get by. You need 60, and when you get Republicans on the other side to do it. So, but what they did put in this continuous resolution that made it a little spicy is that one thing that I didn't even think that was on anybody's radar that should have been put in at this time, but it was this. All y'all out there that like CBDs, not necessarily CBDs, you like the Delta 8s, Delta 9s, and all the cannabinoids that they make from hemp, they canceled all that. They banned it all. So I'm like, we're trying to open the government, get people paid, you know what I'm saying, get services going to people, and then somebody was like, yo, you know what? I don't like that Delta 8, Delta 9, or the cannabinoids. We need to pull that out. And granted, they were like, well, they also said, well, the Foreign Bill opened it up, made all these loopholes, so we need to close the loopholes. But you think that, you know what I'm saying, y'all would have closed the loopholes at a different time. But y'all tacked it on this time. So I'm like, what was the need to do it now? Granted. So that's why I said, people, you know what I'm saying, it's all a game. At the end of the day, it's all a game. Because like I said, if the mission was to do what the mission was, is open the government and get everybody paid, why we added stuff. And then there too, there was another provision in there that said that senators or Congress people and so forth can file a claim or a suit against the federal government for $500,000 for being surveilled. Now, where that money supposed to come from? Right? But you know what I'm saying? If you write the laws and so forth, you might as well just add a couple commas for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know what I'm saying, you can claim it what it is and so forth. But now, switching gears from that. So the TSA, you know what I'm saying? There's a $10,000 bonus check to go on the TSA agents to be that been funded to that. So the TSA agents and all them that came to work through the whole thing, no paycheck, no nothing, for 41 days because the government was shut down because the enhanced subsidies were going to go away. Get a $10,000 check, and I'm like, 10 grand. Was that in part of the bill? Where that money come from? So, so Christy Nome, you know what I'm saying, she was able to move some money around. And so there's some unused money. And they said, okay, we're going to chop it up and give everybody 10 grand that came to work. And so I'm like this. You always hear Congress people talking about, you know what I'm saying, we got to do this, cut these programs back, cut all this to save money. But when there's already allocated money that's not spent, cause I'm like this, two things. Now, now, my mind goes this way. If you can give out $10,000 for them coming to work, you know, as a bonus. Now, I don't know how much traffic controller works and so forth, but why couldn't you have paid them the whole time with that same 10 grand if it was unused money? Now, if you are, like I said, they didn't say that they had to wait to get it so forth. It was like it was already given, sitting over there in the account, and all you had to do is hit enter 3 times and then go out. You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't that be done the whole time? And I know somebody was like, well, it was all shut down, and nobody was at work to hit the enter button 3 times because they, you know what I'm saying, won't getting paid. Okay, but I got you. But I think that what needs to happen, you know what I'm saying, is that y'all go through, figure out where the money is sitting at. Because if there's that much money sitting over there, there's other money sitting somewhere that, you know what I'm saying, that's authorized but not spent. And I think that they need to work through that and let's give it back to the people. Right? Because I'm pretty sure some of that unauthorized money, you know what I'm saying, probably helps every conflict around the world somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, just some things to think about working, man. Like I said, but like I said, we'll holler at you later. So like, share, comment, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.